Today is Tuesday, August 25th, 8:37 p.m. Now, y'all know how I step off the precipice. Valamagules, all must serve. Valadoharis, all must die. Now, hello to everyone. My followers, my subscribers, friends, and family. It's me, Mr. Mungo Bay, reporting. Welcome back to another Made by Mastery discussion. Today, we're going to discuss something special. Today, we're going to discuss something I titled Fragmented Vision. I got that from my original conversation, original discussion, Failed Imagination. You may want to go check that out. It's very informative. But, okay, Fragmented Vision. Let's step into the thesis this afternoon. A vision is not sustained by the strength of its first appearance, but by the attention continually given to it afterward. Right? I call that continuity. You see, imagination may reveal what is possible, yet cognitive overload, competing priorities, and constant shifts of attention can gradually separate a person from what they once clearly saw, envisioned, right? When attention becomes fragmented, vision loses its authority over action, and immediate circumstances begin determining direction. What receives divided attention receives divided power. I think that's pretty fair to say, right? Because when I'm doing something, right, I like to put all my concentrated energy into it. There are no distractions, no phone, no notifications, no TV, no radio, none of that. I'm focusing on giving my people a valuable message. That's it. Now, core lesson 1, a vision must be sustained, meaning you must be able to hold what you see in your mind there continually. You must revisit it regularly, right? You see, imagination, and y'all know how much I love the subject of imagination. Imagination often begins with a moment of extraordinary clarity. It's so clear when it first begins, right? When you first get that vision, an idea appears, a possibility becomes visible. And for a moment, the future seems almost tangible, right? But the initial image is only the beginning. You see, because vision is not a single spark. It is a series of repeated encounters with the same desired future. The individual must return to the vision. Think about it. Develop it. Refine it. And continuously connect present action to its eventual realization. A powerful idea that receives attention for 7 days and no neglect for the next 70 does not possess the same developmental power as an idea deliberately revisited over time. It is not enough to see the future once. You must continue seeing it long enough to build it. Simple as that, right? You gotta keep thinking about it and keep continuous action until it's materialized. It's that simple. Modern life creates an environment particularly suited to disrupting this process because attention is constantly being divided among notifications, information, responsibilities, entertainment, problems, all type of new interests. Each interruption may appear insignificant at first. It might not seem like nothing, right? You studying, but then your phone ring, and then you answer it, and you show your little friend, and you talking, and then you realize you're studying, so you say, well, I got to call you back. Next thing you know, you just wasted 5 minutes of fragmented time from your vision. If it don't support the vision, it's on steal. Simple, right? Now, like I said, collectively, these interruptions, right, create attention attrition. Yeah, that's what I like to call attention attrition. Small withdrawals of mental energy gradually weaken allegiance to an earlier intention. Context switching compounds the problem because the mind must repeatedly disengage from one subject, orient itself toward another, and then attempt to recover its previous depth of concentration. Eventually, a person may still remember the vision, but no longer live in its active relationship with it. They done lost the feeling for it, right? The vision has not necessarily been rejected, but it has been starved of your attention. Your much needed attention, right? Now, y'all know I try to keep these discussions short, right? I don't want them to spill over into too much of your time, of your day, right? So we're going to move forward into lesson 2. Fragmentation transfers authority, right? When you're not focused and your focus is everywhere, you lose all authority. It's gone. Whatever handle, whatever power you had on it, you just lost it, right? You lost a crucial flow session with whatever you were doing. Now, not every distraction is meaningless though, right? Let me tell you why I say that. I say that because some of the greatest competitors for a vision, right, are other legitimate ambitions. A person may sincerely desire to build several businesses, develop intellectual properties, create art, improve financially, strengthen relationships, pursue numerous other worldwide objectives at the same time. Yet, finite attention distributed among too many governing priorities can prevent can prevent any one of them from receiving the sustained input necessary for development. You see, this creates the false comfort of saying, I'll get back to it later. I'm going to do it in a minute. I'm going to do it tonight. You see, because postponement, right, procrastination, right, always allows the individual to believe the vision remains active, right? But no, you've lost all authority, even when behavior has ceased supporting it without deliberate recommitment. Later, quietly, becomes never, and you never get it done because your energies were fragmented. As fragmented priorities accumulate, their consequences extend beyond unfinished projects and begin affecting a person's ability to govern themselves. You see, too many competing directions can produce mental health issues, anxiety, you know what I'm saying? Things of this nature, decision paralysis, and even eventually opportunism. You see, the habit of responding to whatever appears immediately useful rather than measuring opportunities against a governing vision, right? The same principle can operate within organizations, communities, leadership. When no sustained vision determines priorities, circumstances continually determine behavior. Therefore, my favorite, mastery requires pruning. Like you cut the little bonsai tree, right? You cutting off the fat. You cutting off the things that don't matter because you got to move forward. You see me? So, not merely ambition, some worthy possibilities must occasionally be suspended so that chosen priorities, right, that include your vision, can receive concentrated power. That concentrated power, that deep work. When you lock in for about 2 hours, 3 hours, you working, right? When vision loses authority over attention, circumstances gain authority over behavior. Next thing you know, instead of you doing what you're supposed to be doing, you doing everything else, right? Can't control yourself. Matter of fact, we're going to use that for another discussion. I like that. But here's my final thoughts. A failed imagination, right? Or should I say fragmented vision, does not always mean that a person lacked the ability to envision something greater. Sometimes the failure occurs because the vision, right? The vision has been fragmented. You see me? That's why we should periodically audit the leaks, notifications, unnecessary obligations, competing interests, unfinished commitments, the endless promises that we will return to doing what we know need to be done later, right? The question is not simply, what do I want? What do you want? Right? But what are you willing to continue giving concentrated attention to until it materializes, until it acquires form? You see me? Imagination may reveal the destination, but mastery though, requires us to protect that vision long enough till it arrives. You see me? Now, let's add an affirmation to further inspire. I govern my attention with purpose. I return consistently to my vision I have chosen. I protect it from fragmentation and give it the sustained thought, discipline, and action necessary for it to materialize. If this discussion has added value to your journey, please like, subscribe, follow. Most importantly, leave a comment below because I like to hear your perspectives so I can continue these discussions with you. But until next time, continue what I call the EDDER: examining, designing, deciding, executing, and refining. This is your man, Mr. Mungo Bay, reminding you that mastery is not given, it is made.